Welcome to this week's episode of Orwell's Digest. This week, we want to look at Chat GPT. I remember when Chat GPT came out almost a year back, there was so much hype about how it's going to take over different careers.
Chatbots, artificial intelligence tools, just like the newly introduced Chat GPT, they can effectively create written content and perform tasks like writing essays or legal documents.
A closer look at a new technology that's making waves in the world of AI. Chat GPT, a language model created by OpenAI, has the ability to respond to prompts in a human-like manner.
Artificial intelligence is creating a lot of buzz, also a lot of uncertainty and fear. Will AI tools replace you in the workforce?
To me, it was too soon to tell for that. And while I was checking the stats for ChatGPT, I think the usage, the month-on-month active users has dropped significantly. And I think there's a report that came out that ChatGPT might go out of business by 2024 because lack of funds and the number of customers who are paying have also diminished. So I thought it's about time to put ChatGPT into an experiment. One of the things that I had noted was that I was doing some research about the top rich Kenyans, the top families in Kenya. So I remember going through different articles and reading about the Chandaria family because I knew they're rich and I just wanted to quantify their net worth. One thing that I noted was how the family tree was not well documented in articles. I remember the first article I read, Dashan Chandaria was mentioned as being the son to Manu Chandaria. Then the other one I read was Dashan Chandaria is the grandson, or Manu Chandaria being the grandfather to Dashan Chandaria. And then another one mentioned Mahesh Chandaria being the nephew to Manu Chandaria. So it was really confusing. That's like, we have AI. Why don't you put ChatGPT to the test? The first question that I asked ChatGPT was, is Dashan Chandaria related to Manu Chandaria? Guess what was the answer? Yes. According to ChatGPT, Dashan Chandaria is the son to Manu Chandaria. Now, since I'd also read that Mahesh was actually the father to Dashan Chandaria, so I asked the second question, is Dashan Chandaria related to Mahesh Chandaria? ChatGPT says they're not related in any way. So this really got me into the rabbit hole of thinking about where does the truth lie? That's the work of an analyst. Where does the truth lie? And I remember my story, how many people have asked me, am I related to Oro Jode? Yes, just kidding. Actually, I'm not related to him. And even a much more interesting example, there is a lecturer at JKUAT. He's now Dr. George Orwell. He's now the dean at School of Mathematical Science. So everyone who knows him, we have the both same second names. He's a mathematician, I'm a data scientist, and there's too much of a similarity, so we must be related some way. But we are not related in any way. So in order to show how this doesn't make sense and how we make out of errors and why generative AI gets so many things wrong, we will look at the Chandaria family tree. So let's get started. Let's pick Dashan Chandaria. He's the young, flamboyant, well-known Chandaria. He was an investor at Lion's Den, sponsored by the KCB. Sure.
I'll give you the 1 million, but I want 60% of your business.
So, Dashan Chandaria has a brother called Nir Chandaria, and their father is Mahesh Chandaria. So he got this data from 3 websites. There is Ancestry.com, MyHeritage.com, and Genie.com. These 3 websites are user-generated information where families and different people go there and plug in their family history. So now we can establish using these 3 websites that actually Dashan Chandaria is the son of Mahesh for that. So ChatGPT is already wrong on the second question, whether they're related. Yes, they are related in this case. Now, let's expand the family tree to get bigger. So who's the father of Mahesh Chandaria. So Mahesh comes from the family or the son of Maganlal Chandaria, and he has a younger brother known as Dinesh. So now using that tree, then we can tell that Manu Chandaria is neither the grandfather or the direct grandfather to the young Dashan Chandaria. Now, if you read some other articles, and I think there's a tweet which was done by Dashan, where every time he has to remind everyone that he is not related to Manu Chandaria. And he uses a phrase where he says, actually, he's my grand uncle, yeah, which I think is more of a honorary title than actually a paternal lineage to him. Now, let's call this Chandaria family A for that and look at the industrial build in Kenya. So the story goes that Maganlal Chandaria came from India in Kenya just right about 1920s. He settled in Nairobi, did a few businesses here and there, and then set up Chandaria Industries. Chandaria Industries at that point, the main production was for tissue paper, hygiene products. Over the years, after Chandaria's industry became more profitable and grew bigger, he started a second arm of the family known as DMC Group. Now, DMC is named after the initial of his second son, who was Dinesh Magnalal Chandaria. Now, this family now splits into two, where now you have Mahesh Chandaria, who took over from his father's reign and now became the CEO of Chandaria Industries, still doing the same production of hygiene products for that. And more recently, now Mahesh Chandaria passed on management of the company to his oldest son, Dashan Chandaria. And now Dashan has broken that further to have Chandaria Capital and Chandaria Properties, and being seconded by his younger brother Nir in being the CEO role. Now, at the other arm of the family, led by Dinesh, who died a bit younger and left the leadership of the DMC Group to his three sons. And under the DMC Group, they started companies like Guardian Bank, Chandaria EA Properties, East African Mills that manufacture papers. And actually note one thing, that on the side of Dashan Chandaria's family, there is Chandaria Properties. And this is the side where he has his cousin. There's also Chandaria EA Properties. So there's actually two different companies from two separate lineages of the same Magnalal Chandaria's family tree. So if we try to answer the question, is Magnalal Chandaria related to Manu Chandaria? Then you have to step a little bit further and look at who was his father. So from the websites, it shows that his father was still in India with a very different name. So we can establish that this side of the family has almost nothing to do with Manu Chandaria. So now let's get to the Manu Chandaria side. So from the records from this website, the Manu Chandaria side of the family can be traced a little bit farther than just his father. It go up the level of his great-grandfather. So the story goes that Manu Chandaria's father, who was known as Prem Chand Chandaria, came to Kenya around 1910. Then settled in Mombasa. He had two of his brothers, Magnalal, another known as Changanalal, two brothers. So they helped each other, and then Manu Chandaria went to India for his studies, came back about 1948, and together with three other brothers, decided to extend his father's business. As you can see, his father started Kaluworks, which was an aluminium-based company. They create product using aluminium. So these are home-based products like pottery, cookery, sufurias, and other things we use in the kitchen, spoons, and so forth. Then his father passed Kaluworks to Manu Chandaria. Now, together with his brother Ratilal and Magnalal, they built other companies, acquired other companies, and by the time you're getting to the 1950s, 1960s, they created Comcraft, which was a holding company for all these different companies. So, and then they became a steel manufacturing magnate company. So think about Mabati rolling mills, gal sheet, and these other specialized building equipment that need steel. And that's the major business they are in today. So over time, Manu Chandaria passed the management of the company to his son, who still manages Comcraft, and the other branches of the family has grown into other related steel business. So after understanding these two different companies and these two separate families, we could actually almost tell that the Manu Chandaria side of the family absolutely has nothing to do with the Dashan side of the family. And this is one of the biggest problems that AI systems have. If we decided to ask a question, are these two families related? And then we decide to pick up what attributes would you like to use. Both families are billionaire families. They're both industrialists. They both share the same third name. They originate from the same village in India. Plus a couple of other things. They're both Kenyans or originate from Kenyan lineage. So as we score those things, the similarity measure will almost be at 90%. And as AI goes, that's good enough. But as you can see, it's very far from the truth. So you can easily be fooled by the AI system. And why is that? It's because tools like Chat GPT, there's a lot of hullabaloo about they replace everybody else. It is a language model. It's supposed to make something sound better, but it's not supposed to tell the truth. The misinformation about Dashan being the son of Manu Chandaria was picked from the multiple articles that it read. So an error made by a journalist, by somebody else, will be propagated into these systems. So then systems like Ancestry.com, Genie, and MyHeritage.com, ChatGPT does not have access to that information because this is a very proprietary databases. And these are actually the truth centers of information. And since they're locked out of these truth centers and they rely upon open source systems, self-reported systems, then they cannot be the source of truth. And that's what makes ChatGPT dumb. That's our lesson for this week. Next time you have a knowledge questions, don't ask ChatGPT. Find proprietary databases that work. Cheers. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe. Any Buddha, after kuachiva always subscribe. Apa. Baru just subscribe. Hey, and I have more videos here.